Hey, good morning. I am so glad you're here. Welcome to the video. Today I am doing a little mini training walking you through how to plan your best year ever. Before we dive in, check out on the comments on the side there. You can see there's a worksheet that you can download and follow along. If you are watching this live, I am so happy that you're here. If you are watching this at a later time, that's great. Grab your worksheet, listen along. I walk you through the worksheet as you go and pause it anytime you need so you can spend some time and answer the questions. The intent of this is to make it short, sweet, to the point. I'm not going to be long here on the video, but I really wanted to do something that would add value to you guys so that you can start the year out right. Now, as always, I have a completely different view on goals and intentions than many people that you might be seeing on social media or that you might be listening to. So as you are following along with my worksheet, keep in mind a couple of things. If this is not January and you're watching this, that's fine. You are in exactly the right place at the right time. If it's February the 15th or the July the 23rd, it doesn't matter. You get to choose when you're going to start your year. So if you start the year and you kind of get off to a rocky start, don't worry about it. You are in control. Just because it's not January the 1st, 2019, doesn't mean that you can't start any year you want, anytime you want. So that's the first thing where I'm a little bit different. I think that this gives you the permission to maybe start and stumble. Things happen in life. Maybe it didn't go well, but you don't have to wait a whole nother 12 months before you can make a fresh start. And this is something that I'm really learning a lot lately, is the more you take action, inspired action, the right action for you, the more times you step out, the more chances you get to streamline it, to make mistakes, to learn from your mistakes, and to take better actions. So people who only plan one or two big actions in a couple of months, they only get that one or two options, or one or two actions, one or two opportunities to make changes, to try it. Sometimes it worked well, sometimes it didn't work well, and then improve from that. But if you're trying something new, if you're taking action frequently, and then every time you take action, think about, how could I have made that better? How could I have improved my results? You're going to get way better results in the long term. So the other place that I'm different from other people in goal setting or intention setting is that I approach it quarterly. I think that it's great to have a year's view and to think about it from a year's standpoint, in the fact of what would be a wonderful thing to have happened this time next year. But for me, it's too long of a runway to plan my actions. And like I said, you're only going to get the result you want if you take the right actions and you learn from your actions and fine-tune your results. So I recommend looking at the whole year, looking forward for the whole year from a wishing, dreaming, manifesting standpoint. But when it comes down to, so what are you going to do to make that happen? I look quarterly. Today, we're going to talk about the dreaming part, what's important to you, what are the goals that you would love to achieve over the next 12 months. And next week, next Facebook Live, I'm going to walk you through how to take one of those goals and break it down so that you get a great action plan on a calendar, so you know that your goal will become a reality. You're going to know next week the goals that you're working on this week. Grab my worksheet, work through it to get that kind of vision on where you want to be. And then next week, we're going to say, okay, let's take one goal. And how are you going to make measurable progress on your inspiring goal in the next 3 months, so that you know you're not leaving anything to chance? So let's dive in for today. If you haven't already, grab that worksheet and we're going to get started. So here's what the worksheet looks like. I've got a printed version of it. It's color when you download it. I print it out in black and white. And I want to start by, as we think about the 12 months to come, I want you to think about the 12 months that have just finished. It happens to be January 3rd. So we're going to talk about we're going to talk about all of 2018 because it's January 3rd, 2019. But you can take this exercise and you can use it for any 12-month period. So let's start, before we think forward about what do you want, let's think about where you've been. No matter what, every single client that I work with, every coaching client that I work with, and I'm no exception, I teach the things that I need to learn too, is let's learn how to celebrate what you've done. So let's start by saying to you, so what did you accomplish last year? What did you accomplish in the last 12 months? And it's really easy for you to sit here and go, oh, I didn't really get much done. But no, take a pause and think back over the last 12 months. If you need to, look at your appointments, look at the trainings that you've done, look at your journals, look at what you've delivered. Maybe if you're big in writing things or recording things, or you've worked on big projects, both at work or other things, your relationships that you've helped to get stronger. Think about those things. So what have you accomplished in the last 12 months? And like I said, I'm going to move through this pretty quick. You can pause me, do your writing, come back to me whenever you're ready to go. The next thing is still thinking about 2018, the last 12 months. What are you most proud of? What do you think about, wow, now that I know what I accomplished, how do I feel proud about the progress that I've made? Not that you've done everything that you planned out to do, but I bet you've accomplished more than you've given yourself credit for. And take some time to really acknowledge yourself and feel proud of yourself about how far you've come. Where did you grow? What was that edge that you grew on? Did you speak up more boldly? Did you speak your truth? Did you show up more authentically? Did you, if you're a coach, did you start building your coaching practice, or did you register for coaching training? Did you travel? Did you write a book? What are those things that you did, and how did you grow from them? How was it to show up courageously when you were kind of nervous? How was it to speak up and reframe your relationships with people? Where did you grow? And from all of this, what was your biggest lesson? For me, my biggest lesson from 2018, my theme for that year was consistency. So my biggest lesson was the power of showing up every single week consistently. If you've been getting my newsletters, you're going to know you got at least one newsletter from me every single week for all of 2018. I tried to create great content, again, every week, creating something for you that I thought would help you, that I knew would add value to your life. So for me, that was my biggest lesson, the power of consistency. When I look at my website now and the body of work that is starting to accumulate there, and the free value that adds to anybody who comes onto my website, that's a big lesson for me. And finally, still thinking about the last 12 months. Hey, Cora, good to see you. Thinking about that last 12 months, what did you not accomplish? Now, I don't want you to be saying this in a way that you're letting your inner critic run rampant and telling you how terrible you are because you didn't get everything done. I want you to come at that question from a place of, what did I really want to get done? And maybe I only made it part way. What did I not accomplish because maybe I was too scared to show up and do that? So treat yourself compassionately as you're answering this question. Okay, so we're still thinking about the past 12 months. And the next question is, if you, as you are today, January 3rd, 2019, if you were sitting there and you were speaking to your younger self, you 10 years ago, sitting there January 3rd, 2009, what advice would you give your younger self? What would you say about who you've become? I find that if I do this rewind exercise and I talk to myself metaphorically 10 years ago, I really get a much better perspective for how much I've grown as a person, the things that I've accomplished. And I also stop expecting perfection overnight. I get to be perfectly imperfect right now. I get to learn, I get to grow, I get to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And I get to know that continuing to take those small, seemingly insignificant steps forward over the span of 10 years, you accumulate a whole bunch of small little steps. Guess what? You've made huge progress. You become way more of the person you were meant to be. You get to live a way more satisfying life. You get to have a much bigger impact in the world than you ever thought that you were going to be able to. So take some time on that. Rewind, think to yourself, what advice would I give myself, my younger self, my 10-year-ago self? Maybe the things that I'm worrying about right now that I'm really fussed on, maybe with a 10-year view, maybe they're not as earth-shattering as I thought they are going to be. How can I be more compassionate to myself in my growth and in my progress? And next, imagine that you're 10 years in the future and that your future self has already accomplished everything that you've ever dreamed of. You have everything you've dreamed of. You've traveled everywhere you've dreamed of. All the projects and the dreams and the goals and the wishes and intentions, everything is 100% accomplished. And you're sitting thinking to yourself, what would I share with myself 10 years ago? So metaphorically, put yourself 10 years in the future and you have achieved everything you've ever wanted. What advice would you give to yourself today? You have a lot of wisdom in yourself, in your own mind. You know the right answers for yourself. If you find that you're kind of getting stuck on this question a little bit, pause, get centered, take a breath. Maybe you need to go walk around the block if you're feeling kind of scattered. But give yourself that gift of compassionately looking at yourself from all of those goals already 100% fully complete. And what advice would you give yourself now? Okay, next. Still thinking about 2018. What would you choose to change? How will you reduce the amount of time and energy and worry that you spend doing things that you don't enjoy? So think back over those last 12 months and think about really what was not the best use of your time and energy. How would you like to change what you do going forward? I've given you a lot of room to write here, because the other place that I'd like you to look at is, what are those things that you're doing that you're not strong at? And you're doing them right now because you haven't put your hand out and asked for help. Maybe there's somebody that you know, somebody that can help you, and it's one of their strengths. Get them using their strengths to help you. So instead of you having to do every single thing yourself, what could you get some help with that's going to help you? All right. So we've spent a little bit of time and we've thought about 2018 and done a little bit of a review and a little bit of a right sizing on your expectations, how much perfection you expect, how fast of results you expect. So we've done a little bit of that. Now let's pause and look forward. And I just have this one question for you. So if next year, the next 12 months was the most wonderful year that you have ever experienced, if it could be better than you've ever imagined, what would you achieve? This is your place to dream big. Remember, if it was the best you could have ever imagined, it was beyond awesome, what are the things that you would have achieved? What are the things that you would do? And if you're watching the recording, I recommend pausing here. I've given you an entire page to brainstorm. There is no idea that is too big, no idea that is too tiny for you to write down. This is that place where you get to write truthfully from your own heart. All right. So you've done some dreaming. And like I said earlier in this video, I'm different from my goal setting than a lot of people. I've given you space to choose only three intentions for the next year. If I had my wish, I would almost recommend that you choose one big goal. My experience is that if I have too many goals, I get kind of confused. I don't get as focused as I need to be to create the change that I need to create and to take the actions that I need to take. So think about a light. So, I mean, if you guys could see on the other side, you can probably see the reflection in my glasses. I've got something that's called a ring light here. And this ring light lights up the entire space so that you can see my face, you can see the area around me while I'm doing this video. But that ring light is not the most efficient way to make progress. Let's talk about a metaphor. That light is shining light everywhere in this room. But if I really, really, really wanted to make progress, I need to focus. So I need the focus of like a laser beam. And every time I say that, I think of Austin Powers with the laser beam on the sharks. But that's what you need. You need to be so focused. And that's why I've given you space in this worksheet for 3 top goals. But if you're like me and you find that you kind of get, you easily get distracted because there's so many great ideas that you have, you might want to make it one goal only. Most of the time, I'm talking to coaches. And I would say to you, let's think about a goal for your coaching practice. What is the one thing that if you were looking back on the past year that you would feel proud of having accomplished? If you're a new coach starting out, your one goal could be from going from square zero, starting a coaching practice and you've got nothing in place. And my one goal might be having a thriving coaching practice where I make certain amount of income, whatever the number that's right for you. Let's keep it small. There's a big focus on being a 6-figure earner all the time. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's say you're a coach with a thriving coaching practice, and in 12 months, you earn $60,000 and you have 10 paying coaching clients. That's it. That's your one big goal. So for you, I've given you space to write 3 goals, but my recommendation is if you get distracted like I do, make it one goal. Because in that one goal, there are lots of parts to that one goal, lots of sub-goals that you need to reach to get to that end. So for instance, in my example of a brand new coach, to go from no coaching practice to having a thriving coaching practice, you've got to put a lot of different pieces in place. You need to be able to find potential clients. You need to do great sample sessions. You need to get hired by great clients. You need to coach them incredibly so they get great results, so that then they'll offer testimonials and referrals to other people. So you see all these different parts that had to come in place to achieve this one big goal. And all of those subparts and that big goal is driving your personal development for the year. So maybe that means if you want to have a thriving coaching practice, maybe there's some training you need to take. Maybe there is a book you need to write. Maybe there's some books you need to read. Maybe there's some podcasts that you're going to commit to listening to every single week. We'll go into more of this detail next week on my Facebook Live on how to take one goal and break it down into these action steps so that it will happen without fail. But think about this, your top 3 goals, and how much income do you need to make? Anybody who's watching this, you guys you can all get something out of it, but do know that my focus is on entrepreneurs, coaches, wellness professionals, personal development, graphic artists, solopreneurs. So, what's your business income that you want to get this year? What do you want to earn? It doesn't have to be 6 figures. It could be an extra $1,000 a month. And that's awesome, because who knows what else is going on in your life? Nobody else gets to judge. You know what's the right goal for you. So set your goal. And on the following page, this is almost more important than the setting of the goals. What will reaching these goals do for you? What difference is it going to make in your life? Will it give you a feeling of freedom that you never had before? Will it give you satisfaction? Will it give you some security? Maybe you've recently retired and you want to make sure you can supplement your retirement income. Will it give you that feeling of like, okay, that means I get to do more than just pay the bills. I get to do some extra stuff too. So what will reaching your goal do for you? And how will you feel once you've achieved them? Going to this place now of realizing how achieving that goal will make you feel is going to be huge. Will you feel proud? Will you feel empowered? Will you feel satisfied? How will you feel? And what will reaching these goals do for you? And all of this answers this other question. So why are those goals important? You need to be totally dialed in to why you want to achieve these goals. So, why do you want to achieve these goals? How will you feel once you've achieved them? And what will achieving these goals do for you? Answering those 3 questions is going to help you when you come up and you make a mistake. When you try and it didn't work the first time, you can connect back to, when I've achieved it, I'm going to feel so proud of myself. What is this going to do for me? It's going to give me security, going to give me financial security. And why is it important? Maybe this is an impact that I want to make on the world. So you come back to the answer to those 3 questions, and it's going to give you a bit of reassurance, help you to get back on your feet so that you can try again. So that's why I ask you to create the answers for those questions. So that's it for today. As I promised, short and sweet. Most of these kinds of trainings are an hour and a half, and I'm not against long trainings, but I didn't want to make a long training today. So glad that you are here. If you haven't already, download that worksheet. It's quick and easy, and work through it. And then join me next week. And I'm going to be doing another Facebook Live on taking one of the goals that you set and helping you break it down into action steps and getting it scheduled so that it will happen. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.